Okay, I am going to do a video for you on nail trimming and filing, and we're going to do some pad cleanup, so the bottoms of the feet. The things that you will need are your nail trimmers, and I really think that these scissor style nail trimmers are the safest style of trimmer to use, and they come in different sizes. I use these on medium or small dogs, and I use these on larger dogs, you know, with thicker nails. If you have a little like a toy breed dog with smaller nails, or with nails that are super tight, you know, they don't grow out and down, they kind of just grow in a little spiral. These are for cats or birds. They're pretty sharp on the inside, and they do a good job of getting, you know, you can press the skin down and kind of get these around a nail that you really wouldn't have room to maneuver with something like this. So he is a larger dog, but he doesn't have gigantic thick nails like I would use these on, like a Saint Bernard or like a Great Dane or something like that, or like some of your German Shepherds. So for almost all dogs, these are the size that I use. This is the Dremel that I use. This, I know it's backwards, but it's got variable speeds on it, and I use it like down towards the bottom, and it's pretty awesome. You turn it on, you press the power button, and it automatically goes to whatever speed you set it at. I don't ever use this at higher than a 15, just because it can start to heat the nail up and get really uncomfortable for them, and you're basically going to be doing a majority of length removal with these, and then this is what I use to round out the edges, and you can get a little bit tighter to the vein inside there with the Dremel. I have this is like a diamond bit that never goes dull for me, and it's like, I think it's like 120 grit, or it's pretty fine grit. So it does a really nice job of making everything nice and soft and smooth. And then I use these Wahl Bravura clippers. They're variable length, so that's the shortest that they go, and then they go all the way up to that's a 10, and then they go all the way down to surgical length, which is a 40. When I do pads, I usually do them on that shorter surgical blade length, but you want to be really, really careful to not catch the skin in there with that short of a blade length. So if you're not comfortable, you can pop it up. I mean, 10s, you can start practicing with it with the 10 blade, and then kind of work it down shorter as you get more comfortable taking, you know, getting maneuvering around in between the toes. So and I always I do everything in the same order, that way I don't ever forget to do anything. So I do nail trimming first, and then I'm gonna do the filing of the nails, and then I'll shave the pads. So you're not gonna be able to see my face, but you'll be able to hear my voice, and you will be able to see his feet. Stand up, please. I always go, so his head is up here, and his rear is here. And I always go from this angle, just because I'm going to lift his foot up. And it's easier for me to see where the quick is from this angle. The other thing I would do is put your dog, like take your dog up off the floor, like if you've got a a coffee table that you don't, you know, or like a footstool, or, you know, some place where you can just get them up off the floor so they're a little bit uncomfortable, they're out of their element, and they're going to be a little bit less likely to be wiggly on you. So just want to make sure to try to pull all the hair away from the toes so you can see. Black nails are the hardest. I still get squeamish about doing black nails. So we're just going to take a little bit of length off at a time until we kind of get to where we think where the quick is, and then we're going to stop there, and then, like I said, we're going to go back with the Dremel and tighten everything up from there. So depending, and you know your dog best, everybody's got 4 nails. Some people have a dew claw or 2 on the inside. Just make sure you get, I mean, the most important, if you don't ever do these, the dew claws are the most important to get, just because they don't ever get contact with the sidewalk or running around, and so they never get worn down at all. So, and the kind of the anatomy of the nail is, it's here, I'm gonna see if I can get a little closer here. I wish I had an extra hand. So you can kind of see his nail grows in a curve. And I'm really sorry about the angle. And the inside is like where the length needs to be taken off on the inside. You can kind of see it's kind of a little bit hollow. So for the most part, you can take all of that length off, pretty safely, because basically the way the nail grows, you know, they're generally this, you know, there's a little bit of a curvature, and the quick kind of hangs out usually at the peak. So if you start here, you know, ahead of that, and work your way back, you're usually pretty safe. But take it as easy as I mean, just take off whatever length you feel comfortable with. You know, we're gonna just take a little bit of length off and just sliver it back. On every toe. And once you kind of are comfortable with the length, all of these quicks on these front feet they're gonna be exactly the same. They're gonna be exactly the same length, and the same with the back. The backs are gonna be exactly the same length. So, so once you've found the quick in front, or if you are fortunate enough to have a dog with one clear nail in the front and one clear nail in the back, you know where every single vein is on all of his toes. Okay, so I've taken off the length that I feel comfortable with the clipper, with the nail trimmer, and now I'm going to come back with the Dremel. And if you have, pro tip, if you have a knee-high nylon that you want to stick over their feet and then just like poke their nails through, it's going to pull all this hair back, and you won't have to worry about it. But if you don't, like I said, I just make sure to move as much of that hair out of the way as you possibly can. And you turn the Dremel on, and on this one it's between a 10 and a 15, and I kind of hold it like a pencil, and I've got a finger bracing the back of that nail, so, and then a thumb on the pad. You're all right. And you're just gonna start taking those edges off. You're fine. I can see exactly where his quicks are because, like I said, his nails are a little hollow on the back side. So what you're looking for is you're going to see the dark nail. And then when you reach the quick in the center, so it's going to be the dark outside of the nail, and then there's going to be like some lighter gray fleshy, it's not fleshy color, but it's like a gray on the inside as you cut into it. And then in the very center, when you've hit the quick, it's going to be a dark dot again. And on a light colored nail, you know, it's going to be the whatever the nail color is, and then it'll be white, and then in the center it'll be pink. And the other way that I've found is, like, if you take a nail, if you take your thumbnail and you like press it on the end, the quick will be a little bit soft when you've exposed it, and you'll be able to feel the difference between the hard nail and the quick. And if you're not comfortable doing it that way, I also will come from the front, and you can pull all that hair up. And again, you want to brace the back of the nail. And you can come from the front too once you've trimmed with a nail trimmer from the back. The other good thing about this Dremel is if you get it caught in hair, it automatically stops itself. So I mean, and it's scary the first couple of times you do it. But the chuck releases, and the motor stops itself, so that you don't have to worry about like continually like trying to unwrap it and turn it off, and you know, you're kind of panicking, taking all of the trying to take all the hair out of the Dremel. All right, so once everything is all Dremeled, like I said, I use a 30 or 40 if you're not comfortable with that. Start with a 10, and you're going to pull that foot up again. And you want all of this stuff in between the toes. You kind of want it gone. And so what I do is I start at the tips of the toes here. And what you can do, if you've got a brush, you can brush all this up, all this stuff in between their toes up, so that you want to start at the base of their nail beds. And just kind of make sure that it's flush to the pads of the feet. You want to be careful not to go too far on the outer edge, because once he puts his foot down, you'll be able to see a naked spot as he walks. And you want to kind of dig a little bit in between the big pad and the rest of them, you know, just to, I mean, I don't get every single hair out of there, but that way you know you've got most of the hair out. And let's give you a little bit closer view when it's all done. This isn't perfect. I would go back over and make sure that we got all the hair out, but you can see now that most of the hair is gone out from between his toes, and he's going to be tracking less garbage into your house. So if you are interested and want to know where I get my grooming equipment, I have a wholesale distributor that has agreed for the time being to ship orders to people that are not groomers. So just go ahead and text me, and I can get you his information, and he'd be more than happy to do an online order for you. If you have any questions, just feel free to reach out. I hope you found this useful. Thanks. Bye.